The ones sitting here and probably listening to whatever I'm saying are the privileged ones, the ones that have a very good life. Everything is perfect. Yet, so many people walk around with such a burden on their shoulders. Such a burden on their shoulders. Many have been thrust into lives they do not want. Try going into the hills of Afghanistan and being a woman, a 12-year-old girl married to a 70-year-old man. Try being from a little village outside of Sudan where there's no food to feed your family, nothing to eat. The roles that we pick, that we are in our lives, we like to believe that we chose them. Yeah. I got married to this guy, I fell in love, I had 2 children, and then each child turned out to be something quite different, right? One was a burden when they were children, one was a burden as they were growing up, right? Demanding from you, taking from you. And all of a sudden it feels like it's all too much to take. I didn't sign up for all of this. Why am I here in this place? Why am I doing all these things that I don't like to do when it wasn't my choice? I got married and I, had a kid and, I'm ready for retirement. And now I lost my spouse. And now the burden's on me to be, the mom and the dad. I didn't sign up for this. It wasn't my choice. See, none of us are in an ideal situation. What is this ideal situation that you want, that you have no problem, nothing happening? Sitting in one place, doing nothing, sitting in front of the TV, just everything going on. No, you don't want to do that. You want to be able to work. But you don't want any stress at work. No responsibility. Nobody must say anything to you. Nobody must put any pressure on you. You need to work. And the money just must be given to you. Does it ever happen that way? Does it ever happen that you take on any role in life? Any role. And it doesn't come with a little bit of collateral. There's always some stuff that comes with it. You're a mother, you're a father, you're the caregiver in your family. You're the daughter, the caring daughter. You're a worker, you work at somewhere. You're doing something at work. You're a political figure. You're making a statement somewhere. You think that these politicians that put themselves out there with a statement, do you know what a responsibility that is? How much they have to face? How much do celebrities face? Look at their responsibility. They're thrust into this world. They're thrust into all of this glamour. They've taken on all this responsibility of representing themselves according to an ideal. And look at the burden people have. It doesn't matter if you're rich or you're poor, or you're married or you're unmarried, or you're divorced, or you're straight or you're gay or transsexual. It does not matter. Whatever role you're in is not going to be of your choice unless you say it is. You choose this moment with whatever it brings. I'm here now. Now what? This is the only thing that we do. But what do people do? They lament. They lament. Most of the day, someone's got a wonderful job that is paying the bills, that is taking care of everything, but they're complaining. Oh my God, I'm sitting in front of the computer all day. I don't get to move. I don't get to see my friends. I don't get to go out with anybody. I didn't sign up for this. This is terrible, sitting at home all day in front of my computer. They lament. Now the burden, now whatever responsibility they've been given has become a burden. How did that happen? It's been infused with mental energy. Infused with mental energy. It is what makes a responsibility a burden. See, you must understand that words don't mean anything. They only point to something. What are you doing in front of the computer? You have that job. What are you doing? You're staring at a screen like this and you're doing something with your fingers. Is anything other than that? All the rest is stuff going on in your mind. All the rest is stuff going on. And most of the stuff that bothers you is really not connected with your job. It's because you don't want to be there. It's because you want to be somewhere else. You're projecting yourself into another space which you think is better for you, that is nicer for you. You deserve it. You do not deserve the role that you're in. Now, a lot of us, we've come all the way across the sea from India, right? And we have parents, aging parents in India. There are so many families that can relate to this. And there is one sibling that takes care of that person. And that sibling gives the other siblings hell. Hell. I'm the one that has to take care of everything. I'm the one that's responsible. Y'all having a grand time. Y'all are free. You don't have to bother about anything. You can live your life. And the sibling that's away, that doesn't have the burden, has the burden of guilt. Has an amazing burden of guilt that I'm not there, that I can't do the things for my mother or my father. I wish I had enough money to be in both places at the same time, that I did not have to look after my child. I have to choose now which responsibility is more, the one that I need to attend to, being a mother or being a daughter. And that's sometimes so unfair. Yeah, it puts such a burden. This is what we human beings do to each other. Animals, I don't think, do this to each other. They don't have this burden of guilt. But the babies are born, and as soon as they can walk, come on, you're on your own. We want to take on all the roles. All the roles. So I used to, in one of my workshops, do a very nice session on removing your hats. The hats that we wear. You remember that? Yeah. And we would remove our hats one by one. All the roles that we did, we would remove it one by one, deliberately. So that once you remove the hat of the mother, now what your son does or your daughter does or doesn't do is not your problem. It doesn't affect you one bit. And then you remove the hat of her sister. And now what your sister said to you or, complimented you or insulted you doesn't matter one bit. And you remove the hat of the spouse. That's a big one. That's a big one. And then what your spouse said or didn't say, did or didn't do is perfectly okay. Is perfectly okay. We identify with our roles. We want our roles to be a particular way. When they don't go that way, we get so upset. We feel so victimized. We feel so much the burden of doing things. And I have some people in my other meditation group going through an extremely difficult time of taking care of an elderly parent. And the burden is physical for them because they can't maybe afford to have 24-hour help. So she has to physically lift her mother, physically do all. It's tough. It's tough. And I keep telling her, when life becomes extremely difficult and you have no time to meditate, that's when you have to meditate twice, 4 times, 6 times. When things are difficult, you have to do it more. You have to meditate more because it takes a lot more to get you back to center. You need to take care of yourself, that you don't lose yourself in your own misery, thinking, oh my God, poor me. What a life I didn't. I mean, I'm a daughter, but I don't want this. You end up being not a source of encouragement to your mother or to your family or to anyone around you. There are times in our lives that are difficult. When we're sandwiched, for a lot of us, we're experiencing that time where our kids are having problems and our parents are pulling us at the same time. It is not easy, right? We are married. We're here now. What is the best way of dealing with it? Without thinking. Just like the man in the supermarket holding the cart. You just hold the cart and you don't do anything else. I always talk to you about it. Have I ever told you that story? I have, right? The person in the supermarket is standing there holding the cart and the person in front is going really slow. You got stuff to do and you're like getting agitated by the minute and you're thinking, my God, when is she going to finish? When is she going to get done? My God, do they have to have this conversation? Who cares about the weather and about their aunt and uncle? And you're getting more anxious. You've got a meeting too. And by the time you reach there and this lady says, hey, how you doing? You say, come on, get on with it. You say something rude, right? You've lost it. She did nothing to you. Nobody does anything to you. You do it to yourself. You do it to yourself because the best thing for you to do is to just show up and do what has to be done. Do what has to be done. When you do what has to be done without even thinking about it, this is the essence of the Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is a religious text, you can call it. This is the essence that Krishna tells Arjuna, that whatever you do as an offering to the divine. And he also says that divine is you. So basically it's you are offering or surrendering or giving up or pouring it all into yourself. When you go into the moment, when you go into this moment and you do what has to be done without the burden of thought, you take on responsibility. You take it on with a joy in your heart, with a smile on your lips. This is how it has to be done. Whatever you do, if you are resentful, the karma reverses. So you're taking care of your elderly mother-in-law and you're calling her names, thinking she doesn't understand. And she's in a semi-comatose state. It's all coming back to you. You're cooking for your daughters and saying, look at her. She's old enough to cook for herself. Why am I cooking all this food for them? Right? You're resentful when you do things for others because you don't want the responsibility. And then what happens? This is it's like a continuous cycle. We want to be free from the burden of our children. And they want to be free from us as we age. Leaving you all alone in some home, in some hospice, to just say goodbye. It's not like that. It wasn't like that. I saw, I keep referring to it again and again, a beautiful video of this girl in Africa from, I can't even remember what country, I think it was Niger or one of those countries. And she was saying she had a visit to America and she was surprised that everybody she spoke is taking a pill to be happy. Everyone she met is on Zoloft and Prozac. And they live such isolated lives, she kept saying. She said, it's not like that in my village. In my village, my sister, my cousin, my uncle, my father, everybody lives in the same vicinity. And when my husband does something wrong, I don't have to do anything. The whole village beats him up. Right? You like that, right? Yeah. And when you lose somebody, the whole village holds you in its embrace. That is what is so beautiful. The feeling of community. Why are we enjoying this feeling of coming in for meditation? It's a feeling of community. That you feel like your responsibility is shared. It's not on you alone. That is one thing that helps you. The other thing is to feel that nothing is given to you that you can't handle. You are totally capable of taking care of yourself, of taking care of this problem, of taking care of this issue. Nothing comes to you without you being able to deal with it. And I always say, if it gets too much, then just take a pillow and go to sleep.
If you can sleep.
Right, if you can sleep. This is the whole thing. We think too much. We're always in our thoughts. We wonder why we're so unhappy. Relinquish thought. That's what it says. The scriptures say relinquish thought. And the way to do it is to just start doing things. When you do things without thinking about it, it just gets done. It just gets done. If I sit and cut vegetables and say, look at me, I'm spending 1 hour cutting vegetables when I should be doing my yoga practice, I'm thoroughly miserable. But if I do the same cutting of vegetables, listening to an enlightening talk on some issue, the vegetables get cut, the food gets cooked. And I was not lost in my own misery, in my highway of communication. Relinquish thought. Always get into that space of meditation and breathing. This is what it does. Every day, when you do the breathing, when you do the meditation, it flips the prana. When prana gets flipped and your energy gets flipped, and why 15 minutes of meditation and breathing can totally transform your day, the way you look at life, the way you handle things. This knowledge is priceless. That's why we're here. That's why you're here. And hopefully we can spend a few minutes in the shared silence, stillness, where you realize it's all okay. It's all okay. Om Namah Shivaya. Hey everyone, thanks for visiting my channel, and if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit the red subscribe button and turn on notifications so I can continue to bring you more content just like this on knowledge, on meditation, and on insights for a happy life. Don't forget, happiness is your birthright.